Growing outcry over an internal training guide at the Department of Veterans Affairs. It is titled, quote, "What to Say to Oscar the Grouch, Dealing with Veterans During Town Hall Claims Clinics." Critics have called this slideshow insulting, especially in the wake of the recent scandal of Veterans Affairs Department. Lars Larson joins us now, syndicated radio host, and Leslie Marshall is a syndicated radio talk show host and Fox News contributor. Welcome to you both. These town halls are going to start taking place on Wednesday, according to these reports, and this was used in that area as a training guide. Lars, what do you make of it?
It's insulting, it's demeaning, and if they want a cartoon character to use to educate the folks in the VA about the proper treatment of veterans, maybe they should use Superman, because these are the supermen and women who are the reason we're not speaking Japanese or German on Fox News this morning. These are the heroes of this country. But the fact is, this administration holds them in low regard. This president cuts back military budgets. Even his speech at West Point suggested all the reasons we shouldn't use American military, and his Secretary of State is the guy who described his fellow soldiers in Vietnam as war criminals, and then suggested if you were stupid, you ended up in the military and went to Iraq. This whole administration holds the military in low regard, and the VA is not fixing it with an Oscar the Grouch slideshow.
Is this a bigger part of the bigger picture, as Lars suggests? What do you think, Leslie?
I don't agree with the bigger picture, and I knew it couldn't be a total blue moon because I knew Lars and I would agree on some of this. I do agree this is offensive, this is disrespectful, it's unprofessional. I've mentioned before my husband's a physician, and when he first started out, we had a medical practice. The patient has to come first. These people, especially veterans who have put their lives on the line and fought for our freedoms and for our safety, they're fearful. And I have to say, if there's a cartoon character to represent the VA, maybe it should be the Grim Reaper. I do understand what they're trying to get across, although they did it in a very distasteful manner, which is how to interact with patients who are frustrated, who might be ornery, but to portray a veteran as Oscar the Grouch is wrong. And I think that Lars is wrong to feel that this administration is directly responsible for the video and that the president doesn't care about the veterans. And I don't believe our Secretary of State, John Kerry, is in charge of the VA. That's not part of his job description. And he did go and signed up and did fight for our country. He is a vet also.
According to the report, it says they're not sure whether this training slideshow was created locally or whether it came from the national office, which reminds us of, some prior scandals that we have discussed here. So I guess that remains to be seen. But it says that the veterans might be demanding and that they might be unrealistic and that you need to understand how to work with them. And it goes on to detail how to deal with these demanding and potentially unrealistic clients. Lars.
But that's exactly the problem, is that it's not demanding and unrealistic. These people went out, they put on a uniform, they picked up a gun, and they went out and they defended our country, and we promised them in return, you put your life between us and the bad guys, you save the world, and we will deliver for you. It's not demanding to walk in and say, I fulfilled my side of the bargain, now you fulfill yours. And I guess Leslie's reminded us again that the buck never stops on Barry's desk. All other American presidents have said, I'm responsible for what my administration does. This one constantly says the president's too busy golfing or goofing off or going to bachelor parties to take responsibility for anything. Nothing is ever his fault, and he never knows what's going on till he reads it in the newspaper. And at that town hall before the American Legion the other day, when the president said, I'll get to the bottom of this, all those veterans have heard that same promise about the IRS and Benghazi and everything else. This guy never gets to anything but the bottom of the hole to retrieve his golf ball.
I just want to read a quote from Christian DeJohn, who is a VA employee who attended this training, and he says that the content of it really stunned him. He's an Army veteran who served in Bosnia, and he says for a long time there was a stereotype of Vietnam veterans, that they were mentally unstable and violent and bitter and angry and resentful. I feel like this is perpetuating some of the worst stereotypes of veterans. And, you feel for him and his reaction, and it's very understandable, that reaction. So, Leslie, what do you recommend be done to sort of put this behind them and move on in a sort of more open-handed and welcoming way?
I love that you said that, Martha. I think it's a great question because, who's to blame, the president? And I did not like the VA response. I'm a big take responsibility for what you've done. First of all, there has to be an apology. Second of all, there has to be a new training video. And third, this is part of the disconnect between the Veterans Administration and the veterans. Then again, we also have to look at what are the resources, not just financially, but equipment, staffing, that have to be provided to the VA so that we don't have these issues going forward. Because, whoever is in a video, the bottom line is patient care, and we have to make sure that these patients, these vets are cared for.
You are absolutely right. And the president stood up at the American Legion the other day and said that the situation had been intolerable and that it was being fixed and that these changes and reforms are absolutely in the works. So we hope that the proof is in the pudding for these veterans as they go to get that care. We got to leave it there. Lars, thank you so much. Leslie, thank you as well. Good to see you both.